Hey everybody, this is Cameron. Um, I'm only on here probably for 15, 20 minutes or so, but just wanted to hop on here real quick and say, hey, hopefully you're all doing well. Uh, it's been an insane last few days, to say the least. But I will say that it's remarkable seeing the consistent love and affection for David Lynch still percolating, if you will, through the entire internet. It has not stopped, and it is extraordinary to behold. Uh, I'm also doing this as a way of testing out something having to do with this platform here that I'm trying to go live through. So let me know what you think of the picture. I know it's a little close here. And the sound. It's kind of expensive, but I figured I have a free week trial. So I figured I would just try it. But anyway, hopefully you're all doing well. Got a few people already in the chat. Adam and Indie Phantom. Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. The posts are coming so furiously that I can't even keep up with them on social media because I post them on Facebook and Bluesky and Twitter and all that. Kind of sharing them around is sort of a kind of a one-stop shop so that you don't have to be all over the internet. You can just kind of go to Twin Peaks Worldwide on social media and kind of see a lot of stuff. Not everything, because obviously I can't keep up, but it's been just extraordinary. Vel says it looks good. It better look good because after the free week trial, this thing's supposed to be like $80 a week. Or no, a month, and it's a little out of my price range. But I figured, hey, it's a free week trial, so let's try this. Adam says the mainstream media coverage is surprising. Yeah, like I said the other day, like NASA was posting about it, and then Sesame Street posted about David Lynch. And now if you go on Roku and have the screensaver, when it goes through the city on the marquee of the movie theater, it's like rest in peace, David Lynch. It's unbelievable. Christian says, I still can't believe this. I know things will happen, but this was too much. Yeah, it was one of those things that obviously was going to happen at some point. It's going to happen to all of us at some point. But I don't know. It just, after they evacuated him and they said, oh, he was safe and all that, like, I was like, oh, okay, great. And, obviously we don't know what happened or the reason. I have suspicions, just, I think the air quality, especially with his condition, probably not the best thing, but what are you gonna do? Leave him in the house? With the fires coming, no, you have to evacuate him. That, but I don't know what happened, but like I said the other night, the air quality didn't help. So, and then of course where I live, which is about 6 hours north of Los Angeles, we are now having a big fire. I think it's mostly contained now, but just the other day we were having a big fire. And so fires are everywhere right now. So anyway, it's very, very sad. Let's see. Andy's here. Hello. Adam says, I was worried about David Lynch when I heard he had to quit smoking. Well, that was like 3 or 4 years ago, as far as I'm aware. But yeah. So hello, Ryan. Great to see you here as well. Just on here for a little bit. So it's not going to be, we probably won't even keep this on the channel, but I just wanted to come on here and be live with you guys for a few minutes at least. Adam, you make a good point. So the other day I did a post where I said, in a way, because his, work is now come to a conclusion, because so many people are writing books about him while he was alive, but now that he's passed, now people can have context about a beginning of a career and the end of the career and all that. So I think we are going to have the floodgates open for more books. I think there's going to be a lot more documentaries being made about him. There's probably going to be, the the never film projects of David Lynch documentary and things like that. Um, I think the Criterion 4Ks are now about to explode. Probably On the Air is going to get a physical media release. I mean, if he just passed away and people were like, "Oh, I'm so sad that David Lynch died," still hard to say. Um, I don't know. You know, I mean, obviously there'd still be some interest, of course, but the outpouring of emotion is so huge for this man that, like, I think we're probably going to get 5-6 years straight of just David Lynch content just being thrown at us. I mean, even Netflix today. Did you see this nonsense? I don't know if it's the head of Netflix or the head of programming or whatever, made this huge statement on Instagram, I believe, and then it got transferred all over social media, basically saying like, "Well, we were in development with David Lynch with this project, and oh well, this happened." Um, yeah, I mean, we've been hearing for a long time that they've been saying no to him. Uh, and I have seen some cynicism out there, which I do understand. I haven't really gotten into it that much because obviously it's a very sad time for all of us, but there is some sort of cynicism about, like, look at all these people praising David Lynch and how much they love him. Celebrities in Hollywood and think people, not us, but people with money. and and people saying like, well, if they really wanted to, see him in all his glory, why didn't they, fund his projects? I get that. I understand that. If I had all the money in the world, if I had Elon Musk money, believe me, I would be just Venmoing David Lynch money constantly. Oh, you want a $20 million budget? How about a $40 million budget? Keep the change. But yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand. That being said, it is still nice to see so many people, um, saying wonderful things about him. Let's see here. Indie Fandom says, I think The Straight Story will be my first rewatch. Have only seen it once. You know what? Remember I put up that video a month ago where Sabrina and I were talking about The Straight Story getting a 4K overseas, but Disney didn't want to put it out here in the States? Well, we might just get that 4K now in the States, because Disney likes money, and David Lynch is probably going to be pretty profitable for a while, so they're probably all of a sudden that's going to be on the release calendar. Mark my word. Adam S says Twin Peaks will be rebroadcast, perhaps, maybe. However, I did find out today that on Pluto TV, they are airing seasons 1 and 2 for free. So if you've never seen it, or you want to show it to somebody or send them the link, I did post it on the Facebook page, and just give it to anybody, and they can stream it. Also, Criterion, the Criterion channel is playing the documentary The Art Life, aka Lynch 3, for free on their channel as well. So Karen says, I have never felt so much grief. This is such a loss. I know. I mean, I'm doing better because the shell shock has kind of worn off, and also I've been, again, just so happy by seeing all the love pouring everywhere. But yeah, I mean, I'm still, like, last night I was watching that Lynch Oz documentary, which I still haven't been able to finish. I don't know, there's something about it that I like it, but it's hard for me to take it all in one sitting, so I keep restarting it. And then of course I've been going through season 3 again, and I rewatched the Kyle and Laura Dern interview, or discussion, I should say, Inland Empire Blu-ray. Just kind of, I don't know, whatever I was wanting to just dive into at that particular moment. I didn't want to start at the alphabet or Six Men Getting Sick and then work my way. I've been just kind of picking and choosing, of what I think I can handle at this moment. If I watch something like The Elephant Man right now, I'm probably going to have a heart attack. So I'm trying to keep things light and happy. Let's see here. Cameron, what do you think is going to happen unrecorded night? I don't know. Probably going to languish, sort of like Kubrick's Napoleon. Although, aren't they trying to remake that now or make that now? I don't know. Let's see. Matt says, we're in mourning, aren't we? What a magician. Extraordinary to affect so many strangers so deeply. I know. I was thinking about this today. It feels like a family member died. And again, I never met the man. So how is that possible? Well, I think it's possible because if you are a certain age, you grew up with him, and he wasn't like Kubrick in terms of, Kubrick made his films and then didn't really do any publicity. He didn't do, interview tours or things like that. He didn't do television series. So like you could love his films, but you had to love like the filmmaker from afar. Whereas David Lynch was in our homes, right? I mean, he made these films. We all saw them when we were probably way too young. The Elephant Man and Dune, and then Twin Peaks came on, and then he was in Twin Peaks. So it wasn't quite Alfred Hitchcock Presents, but almost in a way, David Lynch has a lot in common with Hitchcock, right? That's something that's always been said. But he was in our homes, like, and then he was, on the air for 3 weeks and then hotel room for one night. But still, though, he was there. And then he was on Jay Leno and David Letterman. And then he was, later on Louis and the Cleveland Show. But it just goes on and on and on. Even in the 10 years between Inland Empire and The Return, there was guest appearances and things like that. So yeah, it feels like a family member passed away. And so if we feel that way, think about what his family feels like. Josh says, do you think Mark could step up and take on the project? Anything's possible. I mean, I'm curious about what's going to happen with Twin Peaks now, because obviously that was an agreement with Lynch and Frost to, how things would progress or move forward. But, is it still Frost and then the Lynch camp, or do the rights revert to Mark, but the Lynch camp gets a percentage? I don't know about all that. But and again, and who knows, Mark might just say, you know what, Twin Peaks is what it is, and we're just going to let it go. Or there could be more. There could be books. I don't know. I mean, Mark Frost said just a short while ago that don't discount another possible book at some point. So yes, we will see. But usually this is the time where I get a little nervous after someone passes away, because this is usually when sometimes deals are made. I mean, after Kubrick passed away, it wasn't that long after, and we heard about Spielberg taking on AI. So I don't know. I mean, there could be all of a sudden Steve Barton will direct One Saliva Bubble. I have no idea, but sometimes that kind of sometimes happens when someone passes away. All of a sudden some projects get some juice, and especially with all this emotion going on out there, they may try to move forward with a few things. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Let's see. Vel says his passing even more makes me want to see your project get funded. Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I finished the I guess it's the final draft, if you will, today. Now I have like 3 or 4 days where I'm going to read it through and make adjustments and things like that. But then the script will be ready I'm going to bring in some people to discuss it with and say, hey, should we move forward with this or not? I mean, I would love to do a Queen of Hearts continuation, really would. But I can't do it alone. So, and I would like to have a little bit of help, unlike last time, where it was just like, a few people here and there. I would like to have, a nice little core group of people there. So we'll see. And then, do budgeting and all that and see if we can raise the money to do it. I mean, obviously, we can't go through the Hollywood means because it's a fan work. Um, so we'll probably have to do another crowdfunding again, which I'm not looking forward to, but maybe the interest will be there this time. I don't know. I'm really excited about it. I think it would be an incredible film. I mean, if you like Queen of Hearts, this thing is even more fantastical because obviously we're bouncing off, what happened at the end of season 3. So, all right, let's continue on here. Lucas says this might be the most banal thing ever, but I'm really sad that we will never get another Twin Peaks. Well, never say never. I wouldn't be surprised if Twin Peaks came back at some point in our lifetime. Just saying. It's the way things go in Hollywood. That being said, if you want something in the Twin Peaks universe that you haven't maybe seen or delved into, check out my film Queen of Hearts on YouTube. It's 4 hours or 3 hours and 45 minutes, but basically 4 hours. And it deep dives into Annie and Wyndham Earl and the lodges and Cooper and all that. And, it's obviously I'm not David Lynch, but the film doesn't try to be like David Lynch. But it's kind of a really cool if you were a Twin Peaks hardcore fan, it's made for you. So check it out on YouTube, Queen of Hearts, Twin Peaks fan film. You can watch it in acts, or I prefer the whole 4-hour full movie because that is the version with the like fixed up effects and things like that. Because sometimes when you put things on YouTube, you go, oh my goodness, that doesn't look quite as what it looks like on the editing computer. So I had to go back and make adjustments, but I didn't want to pull it down. So anyway, the full version is the newest up-to-date version. That being said, if you've never seen it and you do check it out, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, because all that stuff helps the YouTube algorithm push it out there. And at one point we had nearly 50,000 views on the full version, and I had to pull it down and make a couple other adjustments and put it back up. So we lost all those views. It just hit 4,000 views today. So I'm hoping to get that back up to at least 50,000 views, because the more people who see it, the more people who will be more interested in seeing the continuation. Okay. Adam says, I was affected by Bowie passing in a similar way. I understand. Indie Fandom says, hope for a book from Kyle or something new that goes into working with him. I think we're going to, like I said, I think we're going to see the floodgates there. Matt says, I'd love an experimental non-biopic biopic, like I'm Not There with Laura Dern and Naomi Watts as versions of Lynch. That'd be quite fun. Karen says, it's too soon for me to watch movies, but it feels good to be here. Thank you, Karen. Narani says, I know it's so selfish of me, but I hope he left us all something more. Well, I mean, he did leave us like, I don't know. I mean, like what weather filmmaker out there leaves us 3 years of weather reports? John says, do you think Jennifer Lynch could direct Unrecorded Night? She's great. She's a wonderful director. And if it's something that she feels like could be in her wheelhouse, I know that one of her dreams has always been to spearhead like a series, be the executive producer of a series. And, I mean, like, for instance, like when David Lynch walked away from season 3 at first, I kept saying like, well, they have Mark Frost, they have Leslie Lincoln Glatter over there at Showtime, like get them to direct it if he doesn't want to do it. But then when you saw it, you realized, oh wait, this wasn't like a season 1 or season 2 Twin Peaks that other filmmakers could direct. It was tailor made to Lynch's vision. So only he could have directed season 3. It wasn't like someone else could step in and direct it. They'd have to like rewrite the script in order to direct it, because it was made for his way of making things. So if Jennifer Lynch read the scripts and was like, oh wow, this is something that I could do, then by all means, I hope she does, because it would be incredible. I agree, Adam. You say if you've taken in his work, you've met him in a way, he put his soul in there. I absolutely agree that, like, I feel, even though I never met the man, I feel like I did, because again, he's been a part of my life for God, probably. I mean, I saw Racer, I'm not Racer. I saw the Elephant Man or parts of the Elephant Man when I was like 5 and a half. Then I saw a little bit of Dune when I was like 9. And then I would say from 89 to now. So he's been, a constant for nearly 40 years. um, Any Phantom says, closest I got to him was seeing him on stage at the TIFF premiere of Mulholland Drive. Oh, that's amazing. Matt says, Lynch was in many ways an artist of the people. Kubrick was more like a bourgeois elite, cold and detached, both wonderful. And yet, when I watch Eyes Wide Shut, I feel like that's the missing Lynch film. Even though it's completely Stanley Kubrick. It feels like, between Lost Highway and Mulholland Drive, he made Eyes Wide Shut. Matt says, I haven't read or seen anything from Cheryl Lee. Well, if you have met Cheryl or have seen Cheryl in interviews, you know that she's like an empath. She's very emotional. So, she's probably very, very, very sad and upset, like we all are. Only she worked with him very, very closely. Indie Phantom says, cool cameo in The Fablemans. I agree. I love the fact that the last thing that, that David Lynch said on the big screen was my pleasure. It's kind of cool. Lucas says, I perfectly remember when Kubrick died. It felt very similar. I was talking with a friend about this yesterday, that when Kubrick died, social media, there was no real social media then. There was the internet, but it wasn't quite, we didn't have Facebook and, MySpace and, and all the platforms we have now. So, there wasn't the, we couldn't see just like, pictures of all the movie theaters dimming their lights and putting his name on the marquees and stuff like that. It still felt like, oh, he died. That's a terrible, sad thing. And CNN reported on it, and then it kind of just went away. Whereas I feel like what happened with David is just, second by second by second. There's like thousands and thousands of posts. It's unbelievable. It's like I said today, it's overwhelming, but keep it coming. Caroline says, the light of the world dimmed when I heard the world lost some light, and I feel like I lost a family member as another is in the hospital also passing. I'm so sorry. But yeah, when I saw Sabrina's post, I didn't understand it at first, because she posts pictures of behind the scenes stuff for David all the time. So I saw the picture and I read the thing and I said, did that say what I thought it said? I read it again because I just kind of like, read it real quick. And I was like, what? And then I read it and I was like, oh my God. And then I just went speechless for pretty much the rest of the day. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Would like an Oscar tribute of some substance. Probably will get it. I mean, McLuhan video says, I guess many people are Protestant in the cast. Not everyone is going to be the same. I agree. Matt says Discord rewatch parties for Lynch. Lucas says, where can I find Queen of Hearts? On YouTube. Just just type in Queen of Hearts. Type in Queen of Hearts, a Twin Peaks fan film, because obviously, we had to call it that. And like I said, it's in acts, or you can watch it as the full film, which I prefer because you can always pause it or come back to it, and it will be, right where you left off. Yeah. So let's see here. Let's see. Matt says, I've never cared about celebrity death, never, but it broke reality for a while. I agree. Karen says there might be stuff in a vault like Prince. Yeah, he shot a lot of stuff for davidlynch.com. That would have to be remastered and all that, but I wouldn't be surprised if we started getting Blu-rays of, Criterion presents David Lynch short works from davidlynch.com. Any Phantom says Criterion will likely do a box set since they have so much Lynch's content. Well, I talked with somebody back in 2013 or maybe 2014 from Criterion, and they said their goal as in the company was to release every single thing David Lynch has ever put out. So maybe they'll do the straight story now. I know they've been teasing Twin Peaks for a long time, but we're getting a reissue of Twin Peaks pretty soon, right? The Z to A box set is coming out again, but in a more like package friendly kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, they need to put out a 4K of Eraserhead. They got to put out the 4K of Elephant Man. They need to put out the 4K of Wild at Heart. They're probably going to put out, and I think with Wild at Heart, the bonus features will probably feature the Industrial Symphony #1 for obvious reasons. And maybe they'll do Hotel Room and On the Air together. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Let's see. Bear Band subscription says, happy to be here to remember and celebrate Lynch together. Thank you. The world does feel a little dimmer now. I agree. Let's see here. And the Phantom says, so many Twin Peaks passings, even just since the return. Absolutely. And there were a bunch before the return as well. And then after the return, it was just like someone just opened the floodgates there. So anyway, yeah, it's been a rough couple days for everybody. I feel like the whole world is mourning. It's unbelievable. Like just the emotion that I have seen and felt, and from the moment I wake up till I go to bed, I just see it all day long, and it makes me so happy, because I knew people liked him, but I didn't know people loved him this much. But again, sometimes people don't realize what they have until it's gone. Tracy Jackson says, the saddest thing to me is the works we didn't get. Wisteria, Unrecorded Night, Ronnie Rocket, One Saliva Bubble. I bet Netflix is kicking themselves. All right, well, that being said, there are portions of Ronnie Rocket and One Saliva Bubble that were used in the return. Not quite the same way, but concepts. So he did. I mean, One Saliva Bubble did get, definitely moved into there with the whole Dougie stuff. Bear Band says, for better or worse, the return is just about the best work to end on. When I saw the ending of season 3, I thought, oh my God, like, is this the last film he's going to make? Because it did feel like, just like a last thing. But, the What Did Jack Do short that was on Netflix, he shot that. I believe he shot that after season 3. So technically, What Did Jack Do is his last film. I mean, I know it's a short, but or did he direct it at the same? I mean, he may have been directing it at the same time he was editing season 3, but it's still technically his last film. Let me know. Paperclip says, if you're looking for something sweet to watch to remember Lynch, the film Lucky. Oh, it's free on YouTube. Beautiful. So he acted in that film. Looking for a turtle. It's very cool. Caroline says, I haven't visited the Twin Peaks community for a long while, but this is where I came to meet with those who loved, are grieving, and missing David Lynch. Thank you. Well, thank you, Caroline. It means a lot that you're here. I've missed seeing you in the chat, but I honestly haven't done a lot of videos for a while on the channel, or live videos, mostly because Mr. C will come in here and hear me talking and then want to get on camera and all that kind of stuff. So, I try to use this channel now for like when there's news or when there's something to talk about, as opposed to just, hey, we're live. Hey, let's just, but maybe we'll do a few of those, just because I know people want to talk about David and all that. But Like I said in my video the other night, it's like I would love to use this channel for other things, but unfortunately, YouTube has only pegged this as the David Lynch channel. So everything else is now on the other YouTube channel, Mass Media Consumption. And if you haven't seen the discussion I did with Sabrina Sutherland about Dario Argento, that's on there. Check that out. But everything else, David Lynch, Twin Peaks, everything David Lynch related will be on this YouTube channel. And then everything else will be on the other one. But anyway. Andy says the final scene of The Return is my favorite Lynch ending of all. Just brilliant, eerie, and wild. I don't know if it's my favorite. I mean, I like it, but I can also think of like 10,000 ways you could tweak it and have it just be have it be just as effective. But yeah, I mean, it's a great ending. Don't get me wrong. But do I want to take that over the blue hair lady saying Silencio and having it fade to black, or sailors singing Tallulah on top of the car? I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Lorenko, I think that's how you say your name. Thank you for all the discussions along the years. This should be a time of celebration of life and legacy. I agree. Let's see here. Dunk Rag 1. This might be what finally pushes me to rewatch The Return, which I haven't done since 2017. I find the thought of it overwhelming. It's like 9 Mulholland Drives. That thought alone is staggering. I will tell you this: season 3 plays better now than it did in 2017. Even if you loved it in 2017, it still plays better now because time heals wounds and things you may not have liked. Doesn't mean you'll think everything's perfect, but a lot of the rough edges are smoothed out over time. And then now that you can like watch it in like 4 or 5 episodes or parts in one sitting, as opposed to just one a week, because I felt like when we got one a week, as great as it was, and I loved it, don't get me wrong, it definitely was looking at the whole and not the donut. And now that you've seen the whole arc of season 3 or the limited series, and you can now watch it as one continuous thing, you can now watch the donut as opposed to the whole. So but yeah, check out if you've not watched season 3 in a while, just do like the first 4 parts in one sitting. You'll love it. Norman says season 3 plays better with each rewatch. You just have to remember it is an 18-hour movie. Well, I used to push back on that a little bit just because using the musical numbers at the end definitely gives it that episodic nature of closure. And I think if you could remove those musical moments, as great as they are in many aspects and many circumstances, then it would flow much better as a continuous movie. But yeah, I mean, you kind of have to look past that a little bit when you binge it. But yeah, I mean, it definitely was one script and they just shot it. So in that aspect, it was a movie as opposed to episodes that were written for 60-minute increments. Okay, Baraban says, do you have a favorite interview clip or moment of Lynch just being himself? Oh my goodness, a favorite one? God. I used to love the Jay Leno clips when he would go on there. And Jay Leno asked him, like, what network is on the air gonna be on? And Lynch said, it's so cheesy, but he said, Jay, like the first 3 letters of the alphabet are A, B, C. So there you go. It's funny as all hell. Let's see here. Indy says, I agree that season 3 gets better each time. I think I've done it all 4 times through. Very cool. Andreas says, I miss the 2017 watch longs. I do too. I miss all those guys. I miss Hal, Frank, Mandy. Mandy was on the other night. Joey and Danielle, and it was it was a great time. Like I said on the other video, it was my favorite time I ever was on YouTube. Was that year? Not only was Twin Peaks back, but I got to meet so many wonderful people, and you guys were so awesome then. You still are, but that we don't have that to get together about every week. Now we're all together because Mr. Lynch is not here anymore, which is very sad. I wonder how much missing scenes there are of the return, and then if there was B stock things shot for Unrecorded Night. I think I had read that some rumors years ago. I don't know about Unrecorded Night. I heard that there wasn't a lot missing from the return, but I have no idea. Let's see. Norman says, I'd be curious how all the Roadhouse scenes would appear just by themselves from season 3. That's get the Z to A box set. They put it all together as a giant concert. Indie Fandom says, thanks again, Cameron, for leading me to seek out that extended fan cut of Fire Walk with Me. It is a great version. So far, it's my favorite version. Although someone contacted me and said, I got a better version than that. So I got to check out that version. But the Q2 version of Fire Walk with Me at this moment in time is still my preferred version of Fire Walk with Me because it's the film, more or less, that David Lynch shot to release, but it was too long. So obviously, he had to cut it. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to wrap this up because Mr. C just got home, unfortunately. Not unfortunately got home, but unfortunately I have to wrap this up. Let's see here. Suzanne says, I also think we anticipated season 3 for so long and are kind of expected the old Twin Peaks. Now we can appreciate the return even more now that time has passed. Absolutely. I would really like to do another season 3 watch along because now with time, obviously I have new perspectives. The sad thing about it is I can't really show clips on the channel because it gets immediately not just copyrighted, it gets immediately pulled down. There's like a worldwide block on a lot of this stuff, but other channels sometimes can post up a clip. So I don't understand that because whenever I've posted up clips, it just says blocked worldwide. So I don't know. It is what it is, but I would love to because I have so many new cool insights about season 3 from my perspective that I would love to share, but I can't really share them without, show and tell. So I need to figure out a way around that. Mr. Dr. Maboose says, I just watched The Grandmother for the first time. It's really cool. It's really good. Michael Sayer says, I watched this channel right after every episode of The Return. Still look on that fondly. Thanks. Thank you. Well, it meant the world to me as well. Let's see. Yes, I heard the Dune Spice Diver cut is great. Hello, Twin Peaks Fest videos. Hello. Thank you for existing. We love your channel. It's not so much the watch alongs on Patreon. It's having somewhere. I mean, I don't know. Does Patreon allow you to do live streaming through their own platform? I don't know. Someone says, how do you think future generations will get their first exposure to Lynch's work? Streaming, possibly re-releases of movies? Well, I mean, his films have been touring in theaters for a few years now. So it's not hard to see them in the theater. But streaming, physical media, I mean, anyway, as long as you don't watch them like we did growing up, pan and scan, I say watch it however you can. So, all right, guys, I unfortunately have to go, but I really would love to continue this. So maybe we should do this again sooner than later. Thank you very much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. I don't know how long I'll leave it on the channel, but still give it a thumbs up. And check out Queen of Hearts, please. I'd love to get the views up on that. Give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment because, again, I want to push that YouTube algorithm so that when people are seeking out David Lynch stuff, even though it's not David Lynch, I want the Twin Peaks fans to find it because it will give them a little bit of happiness to be back in that world. Just a little bit more. Let's see. Caroline says, you held the torch to Twin Peaks and David Lynch always. You have rendered the Twin Peaks community a huge service. Thank you. Thank you to everybody. Without you guys, I wouldn't even be here. So I appreciate that. And all right, guys, have a wonderful day. And I will see you soon. Promise. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.